Avon Fire Service is warning residents not to charge lithium batteries overnight after revealing it was the most likely cause of a blaze at a block of flats in Bristol in which one man died. 30-year-old Jabbar Oriakel from Afghanistan fell from the 16th floor of the high-rise in Easton while trying to escape the flames. Although they can never be totally sure, investigators believe an electric bike was on charge overnight and started the fire. Our social affairs correspondent Fiona Lambden reports.
I'd love an e-bike. I've got problems with my back and stuff, so it would be really convenient. But I wouldn't have one in the flat.
Why not?
Because they are a fire risk.
Martin lives on the 8th floor of Twinnell House. 10 days ago, 30-year-old Abdul Jabbar Oriakel from Afghanistan fell from the 16th floor. Today, the fire brigade confirmed the likely cause.
We can safely say that there was a battery and a charging facility where the fire started. So it's most likely that the fire may have been caused by a scooter being charged overnight. And that's the message we want to get across today is, please don't charge any equipment, any lithium-ion batteries overnight.
Bristol City Council are now considering building a bike shed so residents can charge these lithium batteries outside, away from their flats. A week on, Martin believes there are still at least 6 electrical bikes with lithium batteries being charged in the flats.
I think if they had a purpose-built charging area, everybody else would feel safer because they haven't got these things charging in there, which are like, it does bother you. In the back of your mind, you think, this is going to happen again if we don't get these things out of the block, because you're still seeing modified ones going in and out.
And residents told me today they'd like to see door-to-door safety checks inside the blocks. But while these bikes are still coming and going from the flats, many residents here will worry. Fiona Lambden, BBC Points West.
This is so important, isn't it? And joining us now is Professor Paul Christiansen, who's an expert on lithium batteries and also a senior advisor to the National Fire Chiefs Council. Professor, thank you so much for joining us. How concerned are you about what happened at Twinnell House?
I'm extremely concerned. The problem is essentially that lithium batteries have penetrated all levels of our society. They're in everything. Yet we really don't understand yet fully the risks and hazards associated with them. They've penetrated far faster than our understanding. And there's been 22 deaths and 49 injuries across 9 cities across the world just since March. And the thing that really angers me is that these tragedies are completely avoidable. And even one such tragedy is a stain on our society. We must not charge these things indoors.
OK, so we mustn't charge, we're talking scooters, electric bikes, but if people are saying, right, otherwise they're going to get nicked, that's obviously the concern. What would you say?
Well, there's a stark choice here. People have died, people have been injured. I don't know how many homes have been destroyed by fire from these devices. But if you have to charge them, don't charge them overnight, and don't charge them in a main access route. You might only have seconds. These batteries, when they go into thermal runaway, they can vent huge volumes of toxic and explosive gas. Explosive being the word here. And from the time it starts to go into thermal runaway to fire or explosion could literally be seconds.
And that could take out your escape route, yeah. So
yes,
what about...
don't charge them inside.
Just a few quick-fire questions, really, so we can get in as much as possible. First of all, what if people say, well, if I charge it outside then, can I then bring it in once it's safely charged?
Well, I would say no, actually, because, there's evidence from, for example, electric vehicles, that electric vehicles can go on fire during charging, but also up to an hour afterwards. So we don't have the data yet, except the stark data of the number of fires, the number of deaths and the number of injuries.
OK, what about mobile phones, for example? Lots of people will be thinking, I lie next to one of those every night. Is that safe?
It's safe so long as you don't charge them under your pillow. All lithium batteries run a little bit warm. So long as they can get rid of that heat, that's fine. But if that heat gets trapped, for example, by putting it under your pillow, then it could go into thermal runaway.
And then finally, we've got things like wireless vacuum cleaners, things like that. Are they safe, or is it a case of not all being equal?
I think from reputable manufacturers, and I think most of the vacuums that are produced, if not all, in this country, etc., they are from reputable manufacturers, and I, for one, would have no problem with them. It's where we're importing things like e-scooters, unicycles, e-bikes that I start to worry.
Okay. And finally, what would you like to see from the government?
I would like to see a major education campaign for everybody, not just the public, but we need to educate every stakeholder. We need to educate organizations. For example, companies that rent cars. Do they know what to do? And do they know what to say to their customers if something goes wrong?
Okay.
Insurance companies that are insuring residential battery energy storage systems, grid scale battery energy storage systems. Do the operators know about the safety hazards? The
There is
insurance?
so much to think about. Do you know what? You've given us lots to think about, and the viewers hopefully at home as well. And hopefully that kind of advice will save lives, as you say, that don't need to be lost. Professor, thank you for taking the time.
My very great pleasure.
Thank you.